Hi, this is Zach Meir with the US Chartbreakers here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Friday, the 25th of August. Starting off with the S&P, which bounced off neckline support around 43.30. That was the old August peak as well, so old resistance becoming new support, which is a relief. But since then, we've had a fader at the 50-day line, which was the line we wanted to break, 44.60. And now there's a risk of a testing 43.30 again. There's also been a double RSI failure at the neutral 50 level over the course of the last week or two, so that is not a good signal and does suggest that there's a risk of a move down to the old initial 2023 resistance around the 41.80 level, just above the 200-day line at 41.40. But hopefully this market will find support at 43.30. On to the stocks, and obviously most of these are in a better position than the S&P. First one is Aeon, Biopharma, and here looks like we've got the beginnings of a falling wedge turnaround. So bullish divergence there kicking in to bounce the shares off that June support line there around $3.30. Above that, looking for a break of the July resistance line there at $4.70, and then that could lead up to as high as $10 by the end of next month, but obviously early days yet on that one. Next up a stock which I looked at a few days ago, and it's been all over the place, I think, in the meantime. Bruush Oral Care, and here we've had a couple of attempts to break through the 50-day line over the course of August. Obviously they failed so far. We had a gap down on Wednesday and hitting that line of support there from earlier in the year around $2. Above $2, still got the chance of a move back up to the 50-day line at $5, but obviously at the moment the main resistance here just above $4 for this market. Moving on to a stock which I haven't covered here for a while, and we'll see where we are with this at the moment. We've got an unfilled gap to the upside for Backblaze, which is looking encouraging, rising trend channel there from back in March. And the top of the channel there heading as high as the $6 level. Looking for that while we're above the 50-day line around $4.70. So above $4.70, looking for $6 on that within that rising trend channel base. New name coming up, and it is Doma Holdings. And the look on this chart is of a stock which is trying to revive itself within a rising trend channel base from back in May. Looking for a clearance of $5.80 properly, and above that resistance line there from the end of last month, looking for the 200-day line as high as $10 by the end of next month, but only if we break through that $5.80 barrier. One of the biggest rises of yesterday is coming up, Electriq Power Holdings, and here the picture of a turnaround after a near vertical fall, rather painful one. Probably two things we want to look at the moment. One is the bullish divergence, so that does suggest that we could have a lasting turnaround here, or at least an intermediate one. Want to get back above that support on the way down, which was at $3. End of day close above $3, and we could be looking at $6 to $6.50 at the former resistance on the way down earlier in the month. Moving along to a new name, and it comes in the form of Guess with a question mark on the end. Here the shares have hit the top of a rising trend channel from back in March, $22.70. Above that we're looking for a fresh leg to the upside at a February resistance line projection as high as $25.70, and hopefully we'll see that by the end of next month. Ideally we don't go back below $21.50, basically pre-gap resistance. In the interim. What's interesting here, I suppose, is also the way that we gapped down earlier in the week and then we gapped up, so it's a bear trap line and reversal, which tends to be a very solid charting signal. Moving along down the alphabet, and here is OSI Systems. Here we're looking at a situation where the shares have gapped up quite spectacularly, and we're looking for further gains. Just how high the shares could go is suggested by a line of resistance from earlier in the year. That's heading as high as the $150 area, so hopefully we could see that by the end of the next month. And that's valid while we hold above 130, which was obviously the previous resistance back in June. The next situation is one which is also relatively unfamiliar in these parts. Promis Neurosciences, and here we're looking at stock which is basically dithering near the lows. You can see the current situation where we're near the lows, and the main positive, and the reason for covering the stock now, is really the bullish divergence. We've got bullish divergence there, so lower low for August, but higher RSI trace, and that should be something that provides momentum for the stock, ideally heading up towards the 50-day moving average around $3.40 by the end of next month, especially while we hold above recent support around $1.80. One of the recent winners has continued to be a winner, and it comes in the form of Renovara Biosciences. Beautiful unfilled gap to the upside through bear trap, was a bear trap unfilled gap to the upside earlier in the month, and a V-shaped bull flag, breaking the top of the flag there at $2.30. Above that, we're looking for $3.50 by the end of next month, or hopefully even a bit sooner. Next stock is one which is an interestingly named SharkNinja, and here we've gapped up after a bear trap below the old July support there, around the $30 mark. Now we've got neckline resistance around $33.50. Above that, we're looking for as high as $50 by the end of next month, but obviously we've got to hold that $33 area in the meantime, and that may not be too easy a thing to achieve. Moving into the next situation, Splunk, unfilled gap to the upside through resistance, so a healthy looking situation. The question is obviously whether the shares can hold above recent resistance, which was around the line that I'm destroying at the moment, so around 109.50, let's say, to give it some wiggle room. And above 109.50, we're looking for further progress, and that would be within a rising trend channel that I'm drawing at the moment. That's from the end of March, and that's heading up towards $123. Hopefully we could see that as soon as the end of next month, while we hold above the $110 area. Moving on to the last few. First one up is this situation called Turnstone Biologics. And here a bear trap rebound, so the old July support there around the $10 mark. Above $10 on an end of day close basis, looking for up to $12.20 at that August resistance line, and hopefully we could see that over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Ideally we stay above $9.50 in the meantime, which was resistance before the breakout that we had yesterday. Another stock which is on the move, Vinfast rather, and here a V-shaped reversal above the old resistance there from August, $38. We're looking for the shares to head as high as $60 as soon as the end of next month, and maybe the way things are going, the shares could do it rather more quickly than that, especially given the way that the whole pattern higher over the recent past has been backed by an uptrend line in the RSI window. Finishing off with the wittily named Werewolf Therapeutics, at least in terms of its epic code or ticker code. Here we've got a rising trend channel there from December, top of the channel and top of the range, ready towards $4.40. We're looking for that while we remain above the 50-day moving average, $2.90. So hopefully a reasonably straightforward situation there on that situation, or that stock rather, Werewolf Therapeutics. That's it for me today. More updates next week.